Starter was finished. 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 Starter was finished.
I mean, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be, wherever you're tuning in to this stream from. Welcome to Redfellas. Grizzkhan is lost for words. It's not often he's lost for words. And so therefore, I thought I'd just have it on loop. The beautiful man himself. Thank you very much for tuning in, people, to Redfellas on a Sunday night, where we will be discussing, talking, trying to make sense of this amazing football team, this amazing football club. Imagine being us, all you football fans around the world. Imagine supporting a club like Liverpool. Wow. Absolute wow. I'm sat here, literally walked through the door, had a quarter of a plate of rice and chicken. Haven't taken off my flag. Haven't washed my hands, my face. Well, I washed my hands before, but I haven't washed them afterwards. I want to jump on the screen and speak with my friends and the community, and I want to speak about Liverpool. Welcome, people. Redfellas is here. Conor is here. Cav is here. This show may not have any structure today. This show may not make sense to you guys today. Just like Liverpool sometimes don't make sense. How did we win that today? To help me discuss this and try to make sense, because I have seen no highlights. I've seen just the live game, and I know there was incidents galore. And to help me unpack, of course, I've got Conor. Conor, how are you?
Yeah, sorry, Grizz. I'm good. Good, thanks, mate. Obviously, that was a stressful one. I was like 90% sure it was going to penalties, and to be honest, with the low averages, I just didn't think we were going to win another penalty shootout. I just felt that today. So to be honest, mate, with about 2 minutes to go, I was just like nervous as anything. And I don't usually get like that, but I was tense. Like people were having shots on goal. I was with my stepdad and I was grabbing him. But we're talking like a P-roller shot, and I'm just like grabbing him. Anything on our goal, I was just like, I don't usually get like that, but I think I've told you both. For finals, I just get very tense, very kind of jittery, especially when it's like last 10 minutes extra time. So overall, mate, absolutely buzzing with that. It really was, what's the best word? Just a miraculous win from where we were. I think we can't be unrealistic. Like at the start of the game, that's different. But once it gets to that latter stage, once you see the strength and depth Chelsea have got and the pace they've got, especially when at times the last maybe 20 minutes looked like we were running in mud, it really was. I think it felt like if anyone was going to win that going into extra time, it wouldn't have necessarily been us. But listen, that mentality monster, sometimes that gets overplayed, but I think today is the prime example. When you've got that experience, when you've got that unity in a squad, you can just push to the next level, and I think you saw that today.
Today wasn't mentality monsters. Today was mentality munchies. Those kids out there, they were mentality munchies out there. We will get into it all. Pixelate Pigeon sends a super chat of first one of the night. He says, only Klopp'S Liverpool, Cav, can make the Carabao Cup feel like a Champions League. What a game. Big up the Redfellas. Smash a like and subscribe if you haven't. I don't care about subscribing and likes, whatever. If you feel happy and you feel the vibes, and if you loved what you saw today, and if you're a proud Liverpool fan, you'll automatically come in and like the button. hit that like button. Cav, only Klopp's Liverpool can make this feel. It's a Carabao Cup, Cav. Yet I don't think I've celebrated a Champions League like that. I'm being honest, Cav.
I tell you why, because it just means more. Like, it's not just a game of football, it's not just a trophy, it's everything else that goes with it. You know, it's about how you get there, it's about how you carry yourself, it's about what you represent, you know. And there was so much that was inspirational out on that pitch today that people will take this and it will transcend beyond football. You know, people can take inspiration from this and what they saw out there and be inspired and apply it to their own lives. And look, I was talking to my friend after the game, or my mates after the game, and I sat back, I was like, I'm drained. Like, Liverpool Football Club is not for the weak. Like, honest to God. And I described it to him. I said, my energy levels are low, but my heart is full of pride, man. Like, if there's an ounce of me that can get on this podcast just to share this celebration with people, to celebrate this squad and this manager in his penultimate season, we've got to do it. We've got to enjoy these moments. This is what we're here for. This is what all the lows, the hard work, the belief, this is why you stick by this manager. This is why you stick by these players, because they will give you something in return. And more often than not, it's trophies. And this is the first of hopefully 4 we're going to get this season. And my God, it was not easy, but we earned it. In the true Liverpool fashion, we managed to get across the line one way or another.
I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. I have no idea, guys. Feel free to guide me and direct me like Virgil was directing the kids out there and guiding the kids today. You know, I'm a kid today. I have no idea what I just witnessed, Conroy. I have no idea. All I know is feelings right now. All I know right now is emotions. Usually I like to talk about football and tactics, and we try to delve into the finer details and how we done it and what we done it. Today was nothing about that, Conroy. Today was all about pride, being proud. Oh, it was that. It was so much that, Cav. Today was unreal, guys. I have no idea how to describe the formation by the end, what lineup, what players we were playing, but I guess this is Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. That, as happy as we are, there's a tinge of sadness. He's walking away from this, Con.
Yeah, but I mean, that probably adds to it as well. Let's be honest. You mentioned like about it's Klopp's last season, so that probably puts more on it as well, because you're in a final. It's all good to say you're in 4 trophies, but you get beat by Southampton during the week. You could lose your next league game and you've won nothing this season. So I think there's also pressure on. You want to make sure you at least get the first one possible, get that in the bag, because it's his last season. It's also Virgil's first final as a captain as well, like the official captain. So there's a lot on that as well. And I actually forgot about that until after the game as well. But with regard to Klopp, I think it goes back to Cav's point. You can have all the tactics and all that. And last season we criticised Klopp a lot for that. This season we've praised him for that. But I think one of his biggest assets and strengths has always been the way he can galvanise a group of people, starters and on the bench, because he knows it's a unity in a squad that you need to rely on other people. And I think Kelleher is, I know that the super chats there is a really good one, is the prime example. To have, I think he said in his post-match, and I've tend to agree that we've got the best keeper in the world, but we've probably got the best number 2 as well. And I think that there is a lot in that, because how many people want to be a number 2? I think you have to look at it that way as well and be patient. And when it comes, know you're part of the squad. And I think it goes back to the way he treats the players. Everyone's harmonised and on the same page. And again, today, I'm going to say it straight away. I'm maybe jumping the gun. You can have all your shouts.
You're allowed to jump today.
You can have all your shouts like the VVD, all you want. If Kelleher's not on that part, we lose that game today. I'm not having it. He was unbelievable. I don't usually say that about when keepers make saves they need to make. He was colossus when it came to like coming out, doing his best Alisson impression.
Tell me those saves, guys, because I don't recall. Like, I saw them, but we only saw one glimpse of them or one shot of them. Obviously, I don't know how good they were. I still haven't seen it. Like,
even the Palmer chance, Grizz, you're talking like 6, 8, 7 yards out, point blank, right?
Is that the second half where the first half?
The scramble with the Sterling ball lands to him,
right
but
in front
he
of
makes
us,
himself massive, but it hits the inside of his arm, so it's not even his chest. It's outstanding. And then obviously the Gallagher one, where it's like 1-on-1, that's in that spell where Chelsea are dominating, we're hanging on for dear life, and he brings himself out. He doesn't dive at the feet like you see some keepers do when they panic. They put him off. Stands big, pulls off a great save. Genuinely, for me, man, I know I'm getting early.
This is true. Look, check this one out. Facts. How many number 2s write themselves into a club's history books like Clivers? Like someone hit me with some number 2s that we can remember, Kev, because I can't remember legendary number 2s.
Yeah.
Like very few, far between. If you can, fair play to you. But this guy is going to go down in the legendary books. Don't you think, Kev?
9 saves he made today. 9 saves. Right? Double saves, one-on-ones. You know, go beyond the saves. Footwork, calm as you like today. You know,
the only mistake, Cav, was when he caught that ball from the scramble in the box. Yeah. Right? He threw it out so early, and I'm like, calm down, calm down.
Yeah. But you know what? He deserves his flowers, and it's so funny that he took the winning penalty last time we won it, right?
This is the Kelleher trophy. If they do not rename this, that's an absolute injustice to this trophy. This is the Kelleher trophy. Oh man, that double save, you're right. Wasn't it a triple save, guys? Because to where we were, we don't know what the happened there. It was like a pinball, like the original pinball machine in there.
Yeah, and listen, that's a big chance as well. Like, I think that's one that probably won't get mentioned, but I think that's Nkunku it falls to, and it's like you're talking again. Like Chelsea did have a lot of chances in the box. Like there was a lot of scrambles. That was in that period where, Grizz, I can only imagine, Grizz, because watching it on the TV, I was a bit all over the place, but being at the stadium, I mean, that must have been...
I don't know how to describe the emotions we went through, people. I'm a mess today. I'm sorry. We've got Ben joining us as well. Ben, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing? How are you coping? We're just trying to... There's no agenda. There's no narrative. Just say what you feel. Speak how you feel. This is an emotional show today because what we witnessed today was pure emotions of being a Liverpool fan. Go on, Ben, no problem. Take your time. Saeed's in the chat. Of course he is. It's an honor to hand over the Carabao Cup to you guys. Do it for Klopp. Well, actually, can you keep doing the watch-alongs? Can everyone beg Saeed to carry on doing the hate-alongs? Because he has got 100% record for Liverpool. So my brother... Please continue doing the hate-alongs. I beg you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that pinball sequence, Ross says. But by then, guys, what was it? What is this, man? Like, Cav, just give me some emotions.
Let me ask you. What was your feelings? Obviously, you went to the game, right? As you're walking up to Wembley, what's your expectations? What are you thinking? Because obviously... The main topic is injuries, right? Going into the game, we're looking at the amount of first teamers that are out, and you think, okay, we managed to get by Luton, and second half was great there, but this is Chelsea, and this is Chelsea who've had a good performance against Man City of late, and this is Chelsea who maybe fancy themselves to finally get one over on Liverpool, and the occasion. We're going to be putting youngsters in there. The occasion might get to them, and I'd say a lot of fans probably their expectation to win this game dropped. When we knew and we had the list of the amount of players that were out. But what was your feeling going up to the game?
I have exactly what I tweeted last night before I went to sleep. I said we all need as a fan base. And I hate when people say, you don't speak for me. Of course I don't. I fucking give my own opinion and you take from me what you want if you want to take it or you don't. And I said we need to disregard everything that's happened so far and before, and especially a couple of weeks back where we battered the shit out of them. We absolutely bulldozed them at Anfield. And I said, this is going to be a total different game. It's going to be tense. It's going to be cat and mouse. It's going to be so coy. And the only reason for that is because of our injuries. Because I swear to you, and I kid you not, and every man, woman, cat, dog, fridge is a witness today. If we had Szoboszlai, if we had Curtis Jones, if we had Nunes, Jota, Salah, that would have been a massacre out there. That would have been a massacre. And I said, the only reason it's a level playing field now, and the only reason it may go to extra time and possibly penalties, and it'll be I predicted a 1-0 win, by the way. And lo and behold, sometimes listen to me always. This is what I meant. I said, if it wasn't for the injuries, it would have been a total massacre. And that's exactly how it panned out. Ben, thank you very much for joining us. Ben, me and Conroy and Cav have tried to give an insight into our emotions. Can you give us an insight into your emotions?
Not really, no. I'm still on cloud nine, mate. Yeah, I think you said at the start there'll be no structure to this because I think everyone's just going to chop it up and things are going to pop into our minds. And
talking about structure and no structure and chaos and emotional and top red. Here we go. Keith Cross is in the building as well.
But
I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it. Sorry, Ben. Are you
no, it's cool, bro. It's cool. Nice to see you, bro.
Listen, crazy.
Go on, let Ben
There's so
go.
many things. Obviously, yeah, we're going to be here for a while, but there's the fact that obviously we've got a depleted squad. Then there's the fact that it's the Klopp farewell tour. There's the fact that a couple of Chelsea's players chose money and the lifestyle of the club and the way of doing things. And I've got a certain Argentinian midfielder on the back of my shirt here. I was going to wear it, but it's a bit chilly, so I thought, you know what, I just put a hoodie on. But this man right here got it right. And not many football players at the minute are getting it right. People are going to all sorts of different clubs for all sorts of different reasons. They told us that Enzo and Caicedo went to Chelsea for the projects. Well, if you look at the two teams today, there's only one team that looks like they've got any sort of project, and it says, you know, those boys, the ones that started, already down to a B team, by the way, a B team as the starters in a final, which, again, if anybody was doubtful, for once, I'm not going to be mad at it because I do get annoyed when people are doubtful over this team because they've given us no reason to be doubtful. But in a cup final, you've got your B team. I understand it. I'm like Conroy, a final, I'm always a bag of nerves. And then not only that, you go to extra time, you go the whole 120 minutes, and then all you can do is bring on kids who have never played at any sort of level for this club before in their life, and you still win. Like, it's just incredible. It sums up what this club's all about. It sums up what this manager's all about, what he's done from day one, trusting from within rather than going and splashing all this cash on X, Y, and Z. And of course, I'm sure there's a conversation that people will say, oh, it would be nice to spend a bit more money. I understand that. I accept that. But Klopp hit the nail on the head in his pre-match conference. He said, we do things the right way, and this is absolutely the right way. You give those lads a chance, and they want it. They're hungry because they don't have all this money and glamour in their bank at the minute, like the Chelsea players like Caicedo and Enzo. They're hungry. They are way more, determined to go and win that trophy, and that's what they did today. Every single one of them players out there, 10 out of 10. I can't fault any of them, mate. Really can't.
Hey, my man, Hip Hop Chronicles in the building as well. Sumi, why didn't you message me? Why didn't you call me if you was about? Very disappointed, man. Wow, you was there and we didn't meet up. Pick up yourself though. Have a safe travel back. The most handsome man on YouTube has got connection issues. Oh, he's back. The most handsome man on YouTube. He's back. Oh, Tarmizi is in the building. He says the samurai, the gum shield, blood, sweat, and tears of a warrior. We all need to learn Japanese and get his book Duel. Of course, Tarmizi told us about his book Duel. I have no words, and I am not going to ask for man of the match because that's a ridiculous question. That would be an embarrassing, ridiculous, stupid question of me, a naive, a foolish question of me to ask for a man of the match. Get out of here, grizzkhan. You are not doing that today. Keith Cross, my brother, when the chips are down, I look to you to motivate me. You done some sensational tweets. Your tweets need more coverage. You said something today in this morning about this could be an opportunity. Something. You write essays, so I can't fucking read it all. Can you read that? Can you go through your essay of this morning?
Absolutely. Today was the day, bro. The thing is, the chat's all been about, you know what? We got injuries. This could be a free hit. This game and the Southampton game, it could be a bit of a free hit. If Liverpool lose, it's not the end of the world. In my opinion, this was the opportunity to create something new, right? A new era for a new manager to walk in and be in a dressing room of winners, not pretenders, not we were close and we tried it. Whoever comes in to now manage, has come into a team that has won the final at Wembley, big pressure game against a big side. Yeah, that is challenging for the league. That's challenging in Europe. That's challenging for the FA Cup. To walk into a team like that, bro, it is the most, in my opinion, is the most illustrious opportunity out there at this moment in time. These boys have won. Jaden Dance is a winner. You know what I mean? Like, he's won more medals than Harry Kane has in English football. I'm sorry. The facts speak for themselves as a striker. McConnell, winner. Clark, winner. Yeah? Conor Bradley, winner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the next generations of winners. But you know what the maddest thing is, Grizz? I have to say, I've said it a lot, yeah, in this channel. Stop sleeping on people that play football past the age of 30. Yeah, I know that you're saying that, you know, we might not. How can we have a man of the match, bro? Endo, for me.
You're gonna make me cry, man. I want to cry.
Oh, he's 30. He's past his prime. He can't handle it. He's not like
Mello 2.0. They said,
yeah. Bro, that guy single-handedly ran that midfield from minute one. Bro, I got the Makendo, yeah? Makendo got sliced in half because Matt went off the pitch. And my man was there playing alongside Bobby Clark and McConnell, yeah, in the second half of extra time and still being the guy. He don't need to be unlocked like Pogba and them, man. Is the lock, the key, and the answer to a question that we've discussed on this channel so many times over the years, bruv. Wow.
Listen, we need to start, obviously, speaking about the lineup. Mr. Conroy Hunter, what are you telling me? What are you saying? You see the lineup, obviously, as expected. There were some rumors in the morning, unsubstantiated, that Nunes might make it or this and that. No. You know, I told the WhatsApp group from very early that they're not going to make it. And that was the case. Neither of them make it, including Szoboszlai. We see the lineup, and it's as good as we can pick right now, Con. There's no arguments there. The rest of it pretty much picks itself. We go again. Only the two changes were Andrew Robertson, record assister, by the way. Congratulations to you as well, especially. And also, Konate comes in for Kwanzaa. Totally expected. Joe Gomez, unlucky to be left out?
Yeah, but I actually watched your the call-in last night as well, and I think one of the callers and yourself, they mentioned that due to previous experiences of cup finals against Chelsea, there's a good chance it was going to go the distance anyway. So Gomez definitely unlucky, but I did feel that he was always going to play a part and get at least quite a bit of game time, not just the final few minutes. So yeah, very unlucky. I think you mentioned in the show last night as well, Grizz, the only other one you're kind of wild take, but it wasn't really that wild because it ended up happening. Bradley, further up. But I think that was never going to happen to start with, especially because he played well there against Chelsea recently. So yeah, to be honest, we usually have debate, but honestly, from your messages during the week, I wasn't really holding my hopes too high, because even let's say Salah and Nunes were fit, they're not going to start the game, even if they're even somehow passable, they'll be on the bench. So to me, this was always going to roughly be the starting lineup. It's when you looked at the bench, though, my first thoughts were, I felt okay going into this game. I just felt that it didn't work out that way. Just the longer it went on, the more confident Chelsea would get, because we'd have to use our bench like that. And I mean, you can say what you want about their squad, but ultimately there's still enough in that squad. You'd feel on paper that when it gets to the tight stages, that they'll have more than a McConnell, than a Dan's coming on. But I'll not jump the gun. We'll discuss that later. But that was my fault. I did feel like we could hurt this Chelsea team, because as much as they have good moments, they're very inconsistent. So they'll have the good performance against City, but they lost to Wolves the week before at home as well. So a very inconsistent team. So I did feel quite okay going into the match with that starting a lineup. But however, I will emphasise it was just the starting a lineup. I was confident, and I think as soon when I looked at that bench, that might be the weakest. I don't mean weakest in like a disrespectful way, but just like players that are just
the most inexperienced.
Yeah, that's at least inexperienced bench I think I've ever seen. I'm sure there's some examples in the past. So that was
there isn't. I tell you why, Conroy. I'm so sorry. I'm going to butt in because I can't. I haven't got the patience for anything today. I'm just buzzing. I just want. No. Honestly, I haven't. I'm just gonna butt in. I want you guys to butt in. I want you guys just say what you think and how you feel. Today's just a pure vibes, Redfellas. I know normally we do it like a certain time after the event, so we've got time to gather our thoughts. I haven't had a chance to gather our thoughts. I told you, I walked through, had half a leg with some rice. The rice wasn't even all that, to be honest with you, but don't let the wife hear that. But the chicken was banging. The mint yogurt with it was banging, and I didn't even get to finish it. And I wanted to speak to you guys about it. Cav, what Conroy is saying as well, essentially, is like that subs bench. But we've had subs bench waste week or whatever, but not in a fucking cup final at Wembley. We've had maybe an FA Cup where the bench is weak, or a league game somewhere where, you know what I mean, like in a normal tie where the subs bench is weak. We're going up against £1 billion squad with the bench that we've got. My thought was, we need to score the first goal here, guys. Because if we don't score the first goal, minute 60 onwards is going to be a whole heap of stress for us. It pretty much turned out like that, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, look, a bunch of kids on the bench, and a bunch of kids that haven't, Elliot's a kid, but at least he's played football for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? At least he's got some experience. These kids don't have any, and then your senior players in Tsimikas and Gomez, they're not going to come in and change the game. They'll affect it, but if from an offensive point of view, they're not really going to do much. So that starting 11, I'm sure we unanimously would agree had to go out and get the job done. And as the game gets stretched, their bench was stronger than ours. So it felt like we did have to get the first goal so that we could dictate how the game was gonna be played, and we could sit back if need be, counter if need be, or continue to be offensive if we were getting success. But look, the goal didn't come till extra time, obviously, but we still had threats there. Diaz is still a threat. Gakpo's a threat. Elliot is not done so well at starting games, but he's certainly a neat and tidy player. He's done well off the bench. McAllister will get involved. You see, he scored last time out. I can't remember who he played now, to be honest. But Luton, he scored, didn't he? And gets involved in the offensive play. But I was more focusing on our fullbacks. I thought the width that Robertson and Bradley would offer, and the range of sort of attacking, especially with Bradley, stepping inside, coming in field, bursting past midfielders at times, driving into the box, getting shots away, playing out wide, getting crosses into the box. I just felt like if we could create opportunities, get the ball out wide to them and put the ball into the box, you've got Diaz, who's a fighter, that would scrap for something in there. You've got Gakpo, who can quite often sort of crop up with a goal, more often than not, sort of finds himself at the back stick, just tapping them in or what have you. But we still had a side that was capable of scoring goals. And then defensively, we've got two of the best centre-backs in the world, guys. Like, honest to God, Virgil and Konate as a pairing, I mean, fair play to Konza stepping in and doing well at times, have made himself an option. But Konate and Virgil just on the ground, in a foot race, in the air, pressing, high line, they've got it all. Like, they're unstoppable. So it was only ever going to be a case for me of just making sure that we managed to just get a goal, because I felt defensively we'll be absolutely fine. And that kind of was how I saw the game playing out actually as well. I thought set pieces would be strong. I thought we kind of had to be. Felt like we wanted to find out.
Thought I was finished. Thought I was finished.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep playing that because I'm sorry, you can be making the most sensible points, and you was making some cracking points, and you was making so much sense. But I just want to hear.
Should we all just speak on Virgil? Why not, right? Because we could pick out every player today, but
this
why
is
not?
what being drunk. This is what being drunk is like, Grizz. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? This euphoria.
I was drunker than drunk, higher than high, without a touch of drink or an ounce of drugs. I was on PG tips. That's all I was on. And I'm telling you, the feeling of elation.
I've got a headache. I feel hungover.
I've got a headache. I'm so mashed up. But I guess, look, trying to make some sense of the game, guys. You tell me, how did it look? Because to me, Ben, I'll come to you first. It looked like we were playing so well. It just showed that we haven't got any killers up front. Everything else was spick and span. Our defense knew their roles. Our midfield was functioning. I guess the first thing to talk about is another injury.
Yeah.
Caicedo apparently has a nasty one, a step on Gravenberch, And from the moment Gravenberch was writhing in pain, I turned around and I said, he's done. He's finished. Obviously, we didn't know the extent of it. Tell me how it looked back. What's the consensus?
Yeah, so first of all, leading up to the injury, you was right. I thought we were by far the better team. It looked like it was only going to go one way up until I think that it happened like the 30th minute. It was only after the big stoppage Chelsea even looked like they were half interested, to be honest. Before then, it was all us. We had all of the ball, all of the chances.
They were struggling, weren't they?
Was really cool. Yeah,
Gusto early on gave away just ball played
walking the ball
to him and it just went off the bit. And the minute you see that, I swear to God, if you're an opposition player, do not miscontrol the ball and it go out for a throw because Liverpool will smell.
Didn't he do it 2-3 times, guys?
Yeah,
3 times. Yeah, he did it 3 times. Well, just the Gravenberch thing. I think this all comes back to the officiating, and I didn't really want to tweet about the game once it was on because it's a final, but I felt like I just needed to. This whole mentality of in the big games, like not booking or not pulling back for fouls for the first 5 to 10 fouls, it needs to go because they did at least 5 fouls before the Gravenberch one. And okay, he got free kicks, but he never gave yellows out or anything. But the Caicedo one, he's played advantage for some reason, even though that's the worst one of the bunch by an absolute mile. You don't play advantage for those kind of ones. And then you've got the guys on the commentary team sticking up for the referee, saying, "Oh, he's done a great job because he's played advantage. They've watched it back and blah blah blah."
What they were saying? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah. They said they did the right thing because he played advantage, and then he let it come back, and they've decided it wasn't a red card for whatever reason. And then just to go a different way for one moment, in the whatever minute it was in added time, in extra time, sorry, they had a chance. And then Gary Neville had the cheek to come out and say, someone's watching down on Liverpool today. No, they should have been down to 10 men. We've had a player, one of our only remaining midfielders, got off injured, and also a goal wrongly disallowed as well. So I just don't understand. There was another poor game of officiating today, but Grizz, when your team's as hungry as we were today, you can be as bad at officiating as you want. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to stop us. And ultimately, and thankfully, we got the job done. So yeah, it's annoying, but it didn't cost.
How many ways did they try to stop us? Constant fouling, dangerous fouling, injured on players,
picking on kids. The weirdo.
Picking on kids. We're going to discuss that as well. I mean, I thought Chilwell was a disgrace. I thought all of them surrounding the referee. By the way, lads, our players barely spoke to the referee. Barely. Only Virgil speaks to them when he feels it's a must. Otherwise, our players are way too obedient. I know we've got the head of PGMO in our panel as well, Conray. So I know he likes the way we respect referees. But you know me, I'm naughty in it. I'm naughty. Sometimes we need to put pressure on referees. Keith, Gravenberch goes off, and you think to yourself, what do we do tactically? Like for some stupid reason, people were asking me, Chris, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? I was like, fuck knows, man. I just try and shit on YouTube. What do I know? Do you know what I mean? They were like, no, what do you think? I said, the only option I can think of, and luckily I got it right, I said, Gomez comes on and Bradley pushes up to right wing. Or we throw in McConnell very early into midfield. And it was way too early to bring on McConnell. Even though we're going to come on to the legendary midfielders. But at that stage, was that the sub that made sense to you?
It was the only sub that makes sense because you notice Conor Bradley, even lately, he has been inverting a lot, right? There's been situations in the games that he's played in recently that I've seen Conor Bradley just popping up in the midfield. He's a very good footballer. That's the reality of the situation. He's a very good footballer. Grace, please have mercy on my soul. I would do. Man, I feel for him.
Don't go anywhere.
Matisse is suffering.
Don't go anywhere.
You know what's mad, yeah? Sorry, I know. I'll come back to this point in a second, yeah. But you know what's crazy, yeah, bro? Chelsea were the home club at Wembley, yeah. Chelsea is in London. It's in London.
Oh, you mean it from that sense, yeah?
Yeah. All I could hear was Liverpool fans. I was in Box Park today in Shoreditch, yeah, right? Chelsea home club. All I could hear was Liverpool fans. Crazy takeover today, by the way. The fans were up for it. But back to the game. Sorry, yeah. Conor Bradley, for me, is a great footballer. You know, he's not just a wing back. You know what, yeah? Nico Williams and John Flanagan, right? Those what would I say? False dawns that we've had in the past when a young kid comes up, yeah? those kind of guys, in my opinion, great wingers, not great footballers. Conor Bradley, great footballer. Don't get me wrong. I think the moves further forward was a bit too much in the end, to be honest, because I feel like at that point when Ryan Gravenberch went off, Chelsea started to come back into the game, because when we tried to play through the middle, there was obviously like mistakes, off timing, etc.
It was only that 10 minutes though, guys.
Yeah.
It was only 10 minutes where we were dysfunctional.
Just before half time, yeah.
Just before half time, where we
out.
talked about those saves that Kelleher made, that ping pong session in that box. It wasn't much. They didn't have much of the game. But you're right about Bradley. We've got a gem on our hands, guys.
So
With
aggressive.
everything he's had to go through as well to perform like that is just nuts.
I have no words. I have no words that will do justice to this kid's performances. And I've been saying it, and everyone sat back when I said it and gave me all Michael Owen and Robbie Fowler. I said, this kid has made the best impression as a under 21 player for me. Now do you see it?
I think it's because he looks much better than the other ones. I think that's the reason. I think no one really wants to say that. I think the other youngsters, you see them today, great moment, but that might be the highlight of their career, because they might go down, they might not get a career following it. I think we do have this obsession sometimes. Most academy players will not hit that. Conor Bradley looks different because when he's came in the team, he looks like he's ready to go. I feel like others, you don't see that. We have it all the time, and we do it ourselves. Like, I'm sure every one of us was like, Tyler Morton going to be the next Busquets, that, and we do it. We actually
Easy
do
now. Easy now.
we do over exaggerate
That's
all the time.
message.
I've done a year and a half of podcasts. We do it a lot, to be honest. The difference with Bradley is he just looks like he's ready to go. Looks like he's got an attitude.
What is the difference, though? So tell us, what is the difference then?
He's ready to play with men. He got Player of the Year in a men's league, not playing academy games against football matches that don't matter. And he also looks like he's got an attitude that I deserve a right to be here, and you're not doing me a favour. Let's be honest. Jalen Dan's happy for him, right? But let's be honest, he's not going to ever probably make it at Liverpool. I might see more, but you can tell quite quickly with certain players that they're just not going to do that. I mean, Curtis Jones and Trent to get in the front line at Liverpool, Grizz, who've got 5 forwards who are all over 50 million. Think about it. You're against a juggernaut of signing in players in the highest position to come in there. I think Bradley, for me, just looks different. He just looks like he's fearless. He's not scared. And I think, as you mentioned like Owen or Fowler when they came in, Grizz, that kind of attitude that I deserve to be here, and even like having a go with Chilwell, I just think he is different to me. And maybe I'm being unfair. I don't think like Clark, McConnell, they all look good and stuff. I'm sure they'll have a decent career, but I don't think they've not made the same impact he's made. And it is still a short sample size.
Yeah, we're not letting Conroy dampen our spirits. We're not going to do this. We're going to move on. No, you are. We're moving on.
Those are the thoughts of Conroy Hunter.
We do not share the. Everyone's giving their own individual thoughts. We do not. What's the word?
You think I'm ever scared to put my head above the parapet, Grizz? Have you met me?
This is Mr. PGMO himself.
Doesn't bother me. If I cared what people think, I'd never get out my house.
I think McConnell has it. I said it earlier as well.
Let's make a bet then, Grizz. In 5 years' time, how many of these players are still here? We'll make a bet today, right? And I'll tell you.
Yeah, but that's not relevant right now. Today they were magnificent, and I'm not.
No, I'm not saying they weren't. By the way, I'm just saying Bradley just looks different to me. That's the bit I'm trying to say. He just looks different. He looks like he's ready.
He's had the most opportunities. McConnell's had two performances, and for me, he stood out in both performances. What else can you say? He's only had 2 performances, so we can only judge him off 2 performances. If he has more. And if he doesn't perform, then we can start saying, yeah, the others. Big up Roms, by the way. We managed to meet up at the game. Big up Roms. We had amazing time, man.
You sat behind me at Selhurst Park, and that wasn't even planned. You was just sat the very behind me at Selhurst Park.
Those are the best ones. Cav, Conroy talks about sort of Bradley looking just different. He starts off an orthodox right back. He goes to right wing. He's still our X factor, even though we got Diaz on the pitch. Gakpo was a bit in and out, struggling to get hold of We were struggling to get hold of Gakpo. We were struggling to get Gakpo into space, weren't we? We were having a lot of success. It looked like wide and mostly Diaz, but you could tell that the only part of the pitch where we lacked killers, and rightly so, was right up front.
Yeah, and you know what? Like before the game, you're thinking, okay, defense is still first teamers, solid midfield. Endo, McAllister been brilliant recently. Gravenberch had a good game last time out against Luton after some unwarranted criticism, in my opinion. And it was just like, that forward line, just Jota, Nunes, and Salah. Give me any of them. Like if you was going to lose three of the options, don't let it be them three, but okay, fine. It is what it is. And there was a moment in the first half where they panned to the bench and you could see all of the players sat next to each other. And I was just like, if we had one of them guys on the pitch, Nunes would be fine. But it felt like, the game was panning out as we expected. Defensively sound, moving the ball about, controlling things. McAllister, exceptional. Absolutely exceptional in that first half. Winning challenges, coasting by tackles, playing passes, linking, dictating tempo, everything. He was everything that we come to expect from him in the midfield. It was just in the final third, and quite often Diaz was getting played in and he was like checking his run, and when you think it's like 1-2 touch shot away or beat your man and put the ball in the box, he'd often not question himself but stop, put his foot on the ball, turn back, and it's like, Diaz, not today. We need you today. We need you to just have a go. Just have a go, because we're not sure how many of these opportunities are going to come. But fair play to him. He worked hard the entire game, whereas Gakpo was the one for me I was getting personally frustrated with. I was just thinking, I know your game is quite relaxed, a little bit lethargic. You're calm. You're not exactly the most 100% like Nunes is, but you're effective in what you do. So fair enough. I can accept that everybody's different. But I'm like, in today's game, get on the ball, please. Win a challenge, please. Do something. Help these guys out. You're the guy. This is your opportunity. You're never going to get a better chance, because believe it or not, all these players are going to return from injuries, and you're going to be, back on substitute appearances, maybe the odd start here or there. This is a game in a cup final for you to go and show everybody, I can be the guy ahead of Nunes. Don't worry about it. Joe's not playing. Don't worry about it. I'm here. And he didn't really do that for me today. So I was frustrated with him. And then obviously Elliott's trying, but, he's just more of that link man. It felt like everything was good in that first half, apart from just where it really counts in the final third. And I was a little bit disappointed with the forwards in that sense, but kind of was the case against Luton. And then obviously we see how well we improved in the second half in that game. So it just was important to keep believing that they would actually improve in that sense, and that the chances will come, So really, really good first half, and probably needed it, because it kind of, if anybody doubted what this Liverpool team could do or what was going to happen in today's game, the first half shown you, actually, no, it's okay. We really have got a chance in this still. So anybody that doubted us, I think it probably put that to bed.
Ben, halftime arrives and it's 0-0 as we thought. Tense. Not many clear-cut chances. They have one clear-cut chance because of that brilliant save by Kelleher. We have Gakpo hits the post from the header, right? That happens in the first half. From my angle, it was in, and it was just like, how can a ball curl away from a header? It was like just curling away. I was thinking, what are you doing, man? Is your head shape weird or something? Like, what's happened here? But it's 0-0 at halftime. Yeah, okay. It's 0-0
His head is very round.
What are your thoughts at halftime? How can we change anything? How can we do this? Because my worst fear was minute 60 onwards, it's going to become problematic. The way Elliott presses, the way Diaz works his socks off, the way Bradley plays, we're going to start tiring. They've got options. Obviously, they turn out to be shit options, and they're all dog shite and all bunch of Chris Pajak. I don't want to say what they are. Anyway, but they've still got experienced players worth a lot of money, right? And where we've got kids. So we were thinking second half, we need to score early, because for me, that was the best way of winning the game at that stage.
Exactly that, mate. I thought, obviously before the game, even, that team that starts has to win the game. And we can't really look to the bench too much, maybe for defensive changes. If we can get a lead, maybe you bring Gomez on or something like that. But in terms of at least an attacking sense, there was absolutely nothing on there to change the game. And yeah, at half time, I was thinking, we've got to do it in the next 20. We've got to get that goal and then maybe just show a bit of resilience and see the game out. Didn't go like that. We just, for somehow, carried on playing as if, we had a fully fit side. And absolutely fair play to them, because moving on into extra time as well, it was actually Chelsea that flipped it and decided to, for whatever reason, play for penalties, which is absolutely ludicrous to me. If I was a Chelsea fan right now, I'd be screaming Poch out, I'd be screaming Bowley out, I'd be screaming Ben Chilwell out, I'd be screaming Enzo out, Caicedo out.
Everyone, liquidate. I'd be asking to close the gates. Close the gates.
Playing against Liverpool's academy, and you're playing for penalties. So again, I was so proud of the efforts and the way that they conducted themselves today. Every single player. But I'm not going to lie, if I thought at half time that goal doesn't come in the next 20, 25 minutes, naturally, because they've got experience, not talent, experience over us, it would go their way, but it never did. So,
but this is the point. At half time, 15 minutes after the second half, we get a corner, and I turned around and I said, "It's Virgil time, baby." And I made everyone hold hands. There was about 6 of us, and we done prayers. And I said, "It's Virgil time, baby. It's Virgil time, baby." And Virgil scored. And we went mad, Keith. We went wild. We couldn't believe it. Like, prayers have been answered in every single way, because that was our best chance of scoring. Chelsea fans were telling me beforehand, "You're going to score from a set piece." Like, I had so many Chelsea guys that I speak to telling me we're awful at set pieces. We only had 3 big guys in our team, and one of them, to us, looked like a tremendous, stunning header. This is where you guys are going to have to talk me through.
You know what's mad? Yeah, it's kind of, it's a red-faced moment, because when we scored that, it just looked like a goal. So I've got nuts. I'm starting the Virgil van Dijk chant in the whole of Box Park, Shoreditch. It's all going off. We're all slamming the Virgil van Dijk is a number 4. And then I'm thinking, goal. I'm going crazy. Do you know what it is? Yeah, for me, like, there's 2 ways you can see this. Yeah, the version 1, you can see it as a person whose team has just won the Carabao Cup, and you could say, you could argue that Endo was in an offside position, and therefore he's in Colwell's way, right? Because what happens is Colwell, effectively, if Endo isn't in his way, then Colwell potentially, whether he gets it or not is another question, has a chance of challenging that header that comes through, right? As it stands, because Endo's in the offside position, he blocks Colwell, and Van Dijk gets a header and it's a goal. Here's my issue with it, and this actually really annoyed me about the situation, right? Colwell, that is a letter of the law, it's right, but Endo doesn't do anything to block Colwell, right? He's just standing in a position. It's a situation like, you'll see, right, cool, he blocks him up, he holds him, and the defender's struggling, trying to get there in the position, and he doesn't, and he drops to the floor, and you're saying, "Do you know what, fair enough, Endo's in an offside position, he fouls Colwell, brings him down, he can't get to Van Dijk." Literally, Colwell bops into Endo and then just stops. So he's not doing anything. He's not trying to get that ball. He's not trying to win the header. So in terms of like actually trying to influence the opportunity, did Colwell do enough in that situation? Did Endo do enough to stop Colwell doing anything in that situation? It's arguable. If that same situation happens literally 10 meters on the other side, the referee doesn't blow it. And for me, VAR's re-ref that situation, because the ref, in my opinion, the ref does not see enough of that to make that decision, hence why he says it's a goal. So VAR re-refed a situation, in my opinion, that was very questionable insofar as, what was you trying to influence? Were you trying to influence the situation in the game to make something happen? Letter of the law, yes, offside. So if you go by the letter of the law, it's the right decision. I just feel like Colwell, he saw Endo, he ran into him and just stopped anyway. He wasn't trying to win that header. He wasn't trying to do anything. And I don't think Endo was doing enough to stop Colwell from getting past him if he wanted to try and win that header. So, yeah, I say it as that's how I saw it anyway. I thought it was a bit soft, to be honest, but letters of the law, it was the right decision.
Yeah, but they were saying, oh yeah, but if Endo wasn't there, Levi Colwell would have ran back and been in that position. Well, how do you know that? Well, why are we predicting? Why are we? Oh, because it's happened because that's usually what happens. We're just going to predict these things now and give fouls.
No, but Cav, they show the picture though, like Colwell's next to Van Dijk, and then the defender's on the back.
He could have done a pirouette and ran back towards our goal. You can't predict these things. Just ref what you see on the pitch.
I don't know if Colwell wanted it.
The law is pretty clear, right? Instead of just going on opinion on it, the law, as Keith says, is pretty clear, right? It's not a foul interfere that can stop someone making a challenge for the ball. That's the law. That's what it says. Not get the ball, not win the ball, not foul, just a challenge for the ball, right? That is deemed as offside. So by the letter of the law, that's what they have to follow. They can't just say, do you know what? I'll just make it up as I go along. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, but Conroy, like, you're probably right? But okay,
but they're not gonna
isn't everybody in the box able to go and affect the play?
No, because it's where the ball lands. So there's a clip where it's like where Caldwell is, right? Where the ball goes is where Van Dijk heads the ball. So if he is not blocked by Endo, and I think Keith makes a fair point that maybe they need to look at the laws of like if someone's just standing there, a player can't just like use that to for their play that they can stop going there. But he is heading that way, and that is where the ball drops. So it's very similar to the one a couple of years ago with Matip. It's like Van Dijk blocks Reece James, so therefore impact him stopping Mane. There was like the one with Cavani, Aston Villa against Man United in the FA Cup. So it's not as if I haven't seen it before. It's annoying, but it is the letter of the law. So I agree with you on that.
Look, this is what I was going to say. My issue isn't with the letter of the law. My issue is with the application. Then, Conroy.
No, but it has to be the one getting it. So see if you put a cross in the box, right, and Endo and Collar at the back post and they're not interfering with the goal scorer, it would not get brought up. It's because the player's right next to Van Dijk. So his pathway would have headed, or not even headed that ball, would have challenged. It doesn't have to say they'll win, it just has to challenge. So from that point of view, that's where the ball would go. See if that happened at the back post between two people who weren't involved in it, they wouldn't look at it. That's why it's happened.
So would we all agree that it was clear and obvious, because that's the criteria they work towards?
The end was offside though. End was offside. Yeah. That's not clear and obvious.
The letter of the law, clear and obvious, letter of the law, clear and obvious. It is a clear and obvious error from the ref, because ultimately the letter of the law is Endo, is he on the offside position? Yes. Does he stop Levi Colwill from potentially making a challenge to challenge Van Dijk, directly interfering and play from a goal? Yes. Unfortunately, as I said, it's good to say it now, right? We won the damn cup. I'm not complaining about it, but I would have been crying tears if we lost and that was the situation. It is what it is, but it is, in my opinion, the right decision.
Ben, your opinion? You've stayed quiet for the last minute or so, listening into the different takes. Two think it's fair. Cav thinks it's not clear and obvious. I haven't seen it enough. You're the only other one who's seen it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not really into like the rules and stuff. I don't really know what they are from the top of my head. From what Conroy said, it seems like it is the rule, but I just feel like every time we have a corner, especially in the league, at least one player is getting rugby tackled to the floor.
It was a set piece, by the way. It wasn't a corner. It was a set piece, just to clear that up. It wasn't a corner. It was a set piece, just so, because I think, I'm not even sure if it applies to corners. I can't remember, but it was a set piece. It was a free kick out wide.
Keith Hackett, who is a professional referee, none of us are professional referees. We may think we know the rules and regulations, but Keith Hackett says Endo stood his ground. Space is not owned by anyone on the football field. Where is he expected to stand?
That second part was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, so he's suggesting that I've just had a look at it on the replay now, and I don't get it. I don't get it. That's my first reaction. I've seen it 2-3 times now. Like, he stood his ground. He's not. You see people that do. There's teams that actually set out to do these maneuvers and try to get away with it. They block off.
Yeah.
This wasn't a planned or a directive from the coaches. This was the guy just stood his ground. And
maybe they need to change the laws then. They need to change the laws and specify that. But the laws just say interfering. They don't say block.
Yeah, I know, but there's many laws that are not applied. So it doesn't mean just because there's a law you have to apply every single time, or is applied in every single incident in the ground. Like Conor, you're suggesting like every law has to be applied.
No, but it would be applied in this case.
But it's not, because he hasn't moved. I'm just looking at it now. He's not. So what's he supposed to do in that situation? Suddenly duck and let him get to the ball? He's there.
No, you're saying it's not applied, but Grizz, it's an offside call. So for a player to be offside, if it just says if they're interfering with a challenge, so I'm saying maybe the laws need to be changed then again. But on this day, that's the laws they have to follow. So it's like, of course, that has to be applied with this aspect because the player's offside. So it's like, I know it's frustrating, and don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's maybe one they have to look at, because I get what you're saying. If a player means to block a player, it wouldn't cause it. If he's just standing his ground, again. But that's just following the laws.
Yeah.
The bit I don't like is just where we say, "Oh, Levi Colwill would have got there," but you don't know that.
But they're not saying who they got. They would the challenge for the ball, Cav. It doesn't mean win the ball. It says if you're interfering with a player who's challenged and his run is in that direction. And that's why he has to go to the screen, because it's a subjective decision. He has to look at it to say, is that actually stopping Colwell getting there? And that's why the referee went to the screen and said, yes, it is. Instead of the referee just blowing for offside, it was that subjectively that he has to see if he was going to get there. In his opinion, he did. That's why they have to go to the screen for offsides on those occasions. Listen, it's not fun. I don't like saying it, but at the end of the day, it's the laws. So it's like I could turn around and say, yeah, it should have happened, but they have to follow something.
Look, as I said, they tried everything in the book to try to stop us. And that's where, again, you see, we spoke about the 10 minutes that Chelsea had in the first half when Gravenberch had to be forced off. I thought for 10 minutes we were a bit, heads were gone a little bit for the first time in a long time. Did you notice, you guys noticed that on the screen as well? For about 10 minutes, Chelsea seemed to get on top. Cole Palmer started to be very dangerous and dictating. And then Klopp had to make the changes. And the changes were, I don't know if someone's got it up there. What were the changes? Because to me, it looked like the whole cavalry. So this is the part of the game where we bring on the likes of Gakpo, Gravenberch, Kelleher, maybe whoever's not playing as well, like Jota or someone who's not playing. This is where we make the big, heavy changes. Instead, Keith, what are the changes we make?
Dan's, McConnell, Shimikas for Robertson, McAllister, and Gakpo.
Wow. Take it away, lads. What's your feelings at that stage? I don't know who wants to go.
I'm not going to lie. I think Bobby Clark comes on for Bradley, and I was like, okay, that's fine, because Bradley had tired a little bit at this point. It's when I see McAllister go
and
off.
He's a machine. He was going at 800. He needs to start pacing himself a bit more. And that will come with experience, because he was an energizer bunny.
Yeah. I must admit, once I see McAllister go off, I did turn around to my missus. I was like, yeah, this is it now. Like,
was
this
he injured,
is it.
guys?
I don't think so.
He was booked, so I don't know if Klopp was thinking.
Yeah,
he certainly looked leggy as well when he went off. I think he's just obviously he's just come back from that injury as well, so probably a bit of that.
Same with Robertson, just came back from injury, so probably that mindset. But I'll be honest, Cav, I share the thoughts, mate. As soon as I saw those 4 players, I was thinking, have I not seen the bench properly? And I'm like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, this is.
Over.
We said earlier, Klopp's been on it with his decision making, and I was just a bit like, is this just one that's maybe goes the wrong way? Risk reward, but listen, it worked out. The risk worked out. So
I double checked. I was like, do we still play 30 minutes extra time, or does it go straight to pens? Because I was like, he's not putting youngsters in here for 30 minutes. Surely he's not. He did.
I'll tell you, I'll say one thing about that change, in my opinion. So before that change was made, one of the things I started noticing is you were saying that Chelsea started getting into the game. So what was happening was that Enzo was starting to drop in to the centre back 3. He started to pick up the ball from deep, and he was starting to ping passes. So they're starting to go a lot direct, right? So they're bypassing the midfield and they're running out of defense, right, between their forwards, and it was causing a lot of problems. Jayden Dance, that boy can fucking press. And it may look like the guy was running around a lot, but when he came onto the pitch, he was doing what Cody Gakpo didn't do, in my opinion. He was starting to put pressure on their deep midfielders and their defenders to make decisions. It wasn't like he was winning tackles or every 5 minutes or anything like that, but because he was so active in the press, he was making them think twice. And my personal opinion, and people in the chat, or you guys, let me know what you think, but I feel like the way his work rate in the final third actually helped to nullify Chelsea's ability to do what they were doing before he came on the pitch. Because all of a sudden, we didn't see as many direct balls. We didn't see Enzo drop in as much. And we actually saw him put a lot more pressure on their defenders to make decisions quicker, which actually saw us win the ball back in certain situations as well. So it's funny, like I said when we made those changes that this game is over, but actually, and I'm sure, Grizz, you've touched on it, I'm sure you want to go with McConnell because that's another conversation to have. But I thought Jayden Dance tactically actually made a big difference when he came on the pitch.
This is where this section is about these gems, these absolute gems. McConnell and Bobby Clark, they came on and played a League Cup final. Imagine this, guys. They're like, first they're moving up from the academy, training with the first team, which is a huge achievement for them. And then they're in this squad full of stars going for all 4 trophies. And they're thinking, okay, we're here to just keep everyone on the edge and train and stroke ball boys and stroke help out and keep up the numbers. It's true, Con. Pick up the numbers because we're dropping like flies, and we need enough players for like 7-a-side or 8-a-side training matches or whatever, right? And suddenly they're pitched in around the 70th minute, guys. I have no track of time or what happened or whatever, right? And you think to yourself, Jurgen Klopp has some huge kahunas to trust and believe in these kids. And they came on the pitch, guys. And guys, as I said, tell me, because maybe I'm going overboard. But I thought McConnell and Bobby Clark and Dance didn't get much on the ball, but I get your off the ball praise for him. And that's so spot on, Keith, because he wasn't on the ball much. He didn't get involved much, but he must have covered a mini marathon in the half an hour or whatever time he was on the pitch. But the other 2 guys, the composure, because I'm skipping forward to extra time now, because I think it was extra time. I think it was full time, and we were just glad. I turned around and I said, now I have no idea what we do in terms of how do we play this now. We have a bunch of kids on the pitch, and I thought this is where Chelsea were going to go for the kill. But you guys are telling me apparently Pochettino said we're playing for penalties. Shame on you. And instead, I thought the kids took over in midfield, guys. I thought the composure McConnell and Kwanzaa when he comes on, and Bobby Clark showed, and Harvey Elliott is still chomping away and pressing away and running away. I thought it was magnificent viewing from where I was sat. I don't know who wants to take the reins from there.
Can I, just before anybody goes, just because we're moving on to the second half, extra time, right? The first thing that happened in extra time, we played the ball back. Kwanzaa goes to play it long, fakes it, and takes it past Nkuku. I thought, nah, what's going on here? What's going on here? We're in a cup final, and Kuku's
first touch in a cup final. First touch in a cup final. Mad.
What confidence do these youngsters
We were
have?
never going to lose when I see that. Never going to lose.
That's outrageous.
But honestly,
Jamie Carragher genuinely nearly lost it in comms, like when he done that. He just
Did he say that? Did he?
No, he went like, oh no.
So
imagine Carragher trying something like that back in the day.
But do you know what? Do you know just one man that I think needs to get his flowers, and a lot of people need their flowers, right? A lot of the people that the academy and what have you. But just in that extra time,
flowers. Did you say? How many do you want? Flowers? Did you say? Flowers for McConnell, flower for Virgil, flower for Endo, flower for Kelleher, flower for Robertson, flower for Dan.
Yeah, Mrs. go mad.
This was not planned, bro. This is pure. This is amazing coverage, YouTube coverage. Who else wants flowers? Flowers for every Klopp, flowers for fucking Pep Linders, flowers for the fans, flowers for the officials now, Bundy officials. Guys, flowers for everyone galore. Sorry, Cav. I told you it's going to be one of those streams.
No, you said his name, and I was just going to pick out the point, let the guys wax lyrical about the youngsters, but Pep Linders was stood on the touchline, right, screaming at the players, play. Screaming at the youngsters, play.
Amazing.
These youngsters weren't thrown on and told, right, we're going to sit back now, just contain, we get to penalties, whatever happens. No. Put on the pitch, go try play like you've played for Liverpool for years, and play your football that's got you to this position, right? Of course, there's going to be in-game instructions and certain things they have to tailor. They can't go out and just do their exact game because they're now in a different side, right? They're not in the under-21s anymore. They're in a Liverpool team, and how the game's going, they're going to have to do certain things. But to encourage them to go and play, like encourage McConnell to go and play against the £200 million midfield in Caicedo and Enzo, is bravery, and to show that much belief in them youngsters is incredible. And I think a lot of credit needs to go to the coaches, but just wanted to highlight that about Pep Linders, to scream at the boys multiple times on the touchline, play. And then before you know it, at one point I was like, McConnell, what foot is he? Because the footwork was mad, passing left foot, right foot, spraying wide passes, zipping them across the ground. I'm like, progressive passes as well. I'm like, Jesus, man, these kids, they must be, so nervous but excited to be playing out there. And what you need is experience on the pitch, which Virgil was obviously giving on, the encouragement from the touchline, because the fans can give you encouragement, and that'll excite you. But when the coaches are like, just play, do what you're good at, it really go for it, and then it pays off like it does. You got to give the guys credit, man.
Sam Samunske sends in a super chat. He says Dan's was inches away from getting 3 goals. Last ditch Colwell block, saved on the line from his rebound. Top save from the header. Say less proud. You know what? I don't even recall these. Really?
Yeah. What a story that would have been if he
close,
scored the winner. Yeah, that would have been unbelievable. I think that was like was that the first half extra time, Ben, or was that the
first
half? Imagine that would have been.
I don't even remember this, guys. Fill me in.
I thought
it was a massive scramble. Grizz, surely you can remember like bodies flying everywhere and the keeper going everywhere. That's just a bit of a mess, really.
The header was unlucky. It was on target, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the header. I thought it looked like the header was. He just couldn't get over it enough. He was.
It's true. Yeah.
Was it? Imagine if that was the winner though. Could you imagine that your first coming on? Like I think you played the other night, first game, but a cup final and then scoring the winner. I can't even think of a comparison. I can only think of Curtis Jones against Everton in the Merseyside derby scoring the winner. That was unbelievable. But I can't. That would have been fairy tale stuff. But yeah, I think the other one was it was just after that, Grizz, as Ben's referring to. It was like a cross in the box by I think it was Diaz, and Colwell just got in front of him. That was also in the first half extra time.
I want you guys to tell me, because there was a period in the second half where extra time where the fans just went mad. I can't remember if it was an incident that got us going.
I was crying, man.
I think it was we just thought these kids need us, and we just went mad. Like I've never sung that loud. Like I've been to hundreds of matches. I've never sung that loud and with so much support, if you know what I mean. We sing when we're happy, and we sing when there's what's the word? A progression, or sort of we want the crowd to push them on or will them on. This was pure support. It was like we didn't look like we're scoring, and we didn't look like we're conceding. We just wanted to support them. Did that come through, guys?
I think it came. Sorry, guys. I'll let you go. I think it came, and Grizz, you might have been one of these. Elliot at the back stick.
Yeah.
He has a chance. He mishits it, and it's just the wrong side of the post. But the netting obviously ripples. And then all the Liverpool fans start cheering because obviously where they are, they think it's a goal. But I think at that point, the players were able to show the fans that we're going to get this ball down and we're going to play despite how far we are into injury time, despite us being youngsters. We're going to still create. And once Liverpool fans seen that, it was like, oh God, we still got a chance here.
We took over,
on the pitch. That's where I think the encouragement come from, but that's just how I remember.
Did the commentators feel that?
Everyone could hear it on the telly. Like, make no mistake. And I think that was the moment for me where I thought, yeah, we're winning this game now. Like, I don't care if it's in this 120 minutes or penalties. When the fans are that loud and they're on this team, like people that don't go or haven't been, like I don't think they actually understand and get how much that helps the players. Like when that happens 9 times out of 10, we just flick a switch, and that seemed to happen. Grizz, you say we take over 100% from minute 1. The only time we could hear them lot was when Gravenberch got injured, and there was that horrible vile, I'm not even going to recite but you know what chant they sing. That was the only time across 120 minutes you could even hear them at all. So the Liverpool fans today in Wembley, I did a tweet before the game, had a feeling the kids would be used at some stage because you can't play all the other guys across 120 minutes. So I remember tweeting out, like, if you're going today, don't film on your phone for the whole game. And you can obviously get a few clips, get a few pictures, but just be there, like enjoy the moment, sing your heart out, and fair play to everyone that was there today. That's exactly what happened. And if that didn't happen, who knows how those kids would have performed? You know what I mean?
Keith Dazza says, big up Dazza. He was on the call and helped me co-host yesterday. He says 100% hurt, and then I stopped being nervous and just sang with you. Did you think at that stage we're unbeatable? Did it give you that feeling, guys, sit at home as well, that we're unbeatable today because Gallagher goes through, doesn't he? Is it just before we're gonna get onto the goal? Whatever. I think there's a chance for them, and Kelleher again just makes it look so easy. Did you think it's our day?
You know what? It's so interesting you should say that, because I almost feel like the same at that same point in where I was in Box Park. That's exactly what happened. Just all of a sudden, just LA was just ringing through. You know what I mean? Like the support, and you just felt that. It was interesting because other than that 20 minutes when we made the changes, I felt that, okay, do you know what? There's something in there. Something could potentially happen. And if we it's called a spade, when we look at the second half of extra time, like the chance just before the goal, Harvey Elliott back stick header, goalkeeper parries it.
It's the post or save?
Kind of, it's a save. Kind of falls to Dan's, and it's kind of like scrambled. And I thought I actually celebrated because I thought we scored. So, and then obviously it gets scrambled in. But, when you're seeing players like Dan's, you see McConnell get so much more. Because, interesting, Connor, what you say about you. For me, when it comes to youngsters, the big thing for me that is a telltale sign is, are you willing to go and play forward? Are you willing to pick up that ball, look ahead of you, and play football? And if you can do that as a footballer, then for me, at that level, then you've got a chance, in my opinion. And McConnell, in that second half of extra time, started doing that. He started picking up the ball, looking forward, and saying, actually, do you know what? I'm going to spray it to Diaz. I'm going to spray it to Harvey Elliott. I'm going to find those passes. I'm going to dictate. I'm going to go into channels. And he was just running the show. And then so all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, Chelsea have lost their heads here. Chelsea have lost their heads because you're playing for penalties. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
you're playing for
100%.
penalties.
It was so strange. So strange, Keith. It was so strange.
I've ever seen in football. And Pochettino is going to suffer ultimately. And I think it will cost him his job if they do not go through in the FA Cup or try and get the fourth place. It will cost him his job. That extra time could cost him his job. He came out afterwards saying, oh, well, the players were tired, blah, 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 blah. Mate, Madueke, who you brought off the bench, by the way, he was the star of the show in the England under-20. Harvey Elliott couldn't get into the team.
He was atrocious when he came on, by the way. I don't know how he looked. Every sub of theirs made them worse. They were supposed to come on and change the game, bring up fresher players, quicker players, against these youngsters. Yeah. They look like garbage compared to our young warriors. The difference was damning. The difference was tragic. If you're a Chelsea fan, I would be embarrassed right now if I was a Chelsea fan.
They were sitting off us. That's what I just couldn't get it.
Like the 20 minutes, Keith, as you said, like that was, to be fair, I think we all said that we're kind of hanging on a little bit, and that was just after the subs. And Chelsea, Gallagher, Palmer, they were very good. I actually think Gallagher probably makes a big difference. You talk about 200 million midfielders, he always looks like their best midfielder, which is crazy. But to be fair, right, he definitely, you could tell, we talk about our players, it's not to give him any credit, but you can tell he plays for that badge, and he'll do anything for that. And you could tell, as soon as he went off, Palmer is a good player as well. I do like him, but like you could tell that the so-called money buys, Mudryk coming on, it just it didn't mean anything to them. And that spell, Gallagher hits the post. You must have seen that, Grizz. It hits the post, it comes flying back out, and then the Kelleher save. But I think in my head, then the fans start singing. Chelsea are like, I'm thinking, we get to half time, but Chelsea are just going to come out and just put the foot down and just be like, 30 minutes, we'll just have more than enough. But then as you just sat off, so bizarre. Why if you're McConnell, you're probably like surprised, how am I getting so much time in the ball? Yeah. Why are you getting so much time? Like, obviously, you're not going to just run yourself to press someone, but in general, it was like, why are you trying to counter? This is not Liverpool with Nunes, Salah, Diaz. Like, this is not the fantastic front three, the Fab Five. This is not us where you have to defend and be on the counter. This is a team that you can look at and be like, okay, Konate, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, it's going to be hard to break them down. But to get in that final third, if we just put the foot down, like I think a lot of managers would have, Keith, would just said, no, I think we'll outscore them. It was so bizarre. And to be honest, I heard these comments after. I'm sometimes quite sympathetic for, you're in different times of the club. I get that. But in that specific scenario, as you said, mate, when you've got 4 or 5 youngsters, and even Harvey Elliott's a youngster, he's just more proven. And you're like, you've spent the £1 billion on your squad. Nah, sorry, not for me. Like, there's got to be levels in football.
You know what? And that billion pound bottle job comment by Gary Neville.
Yeah, no. He set a fuse there. He set a fuse. Grizz wouldn't have heard that. Grizz, have you heard that yet? On the comms, that's the first thing Gary Neville said after the Liverpool won. Crazy.
Yeah, live.
£1 billion
bottle jobs.
You're Grizz.
Yeah, that's what he said, Grizz.
I was taken back when he actually said it. Can anyone remember the full line? I can't remember the full line. It's like Jurgen Klopp's youngsters have just beaten the Blues Bottlers or something like that. I can't remember.
It was like Blues, £1 billion Bottlejobs, Blues £1 billion Bottlejobs, and I was like, mate, I don't know if you've realised that the mic's still on.
Thought I was finished. Thought I was finished. Thought I was finished.
He's been wanting to say that, innit?
I know. I thought it was past.
I mean, look, we've killed 1 hour 15 minutes, I think, very well, and we've spoken about every aspect pretty much as we can in a match reaction. We very rarely do post-match reactions on a Sunday. Redfellas, we do a post-match carnage, but that's different. Redfellas, we try to be a bit more composed and have a look at the game with calmer minds and heads. But I think it's time to absolutely lose it like I did in the ground, because that guy is denied the first time because of Conor Coote, right? Who decides to implement.
I'm going to stop answering questions. I'm just giving answers.
No, can everyone please from now on? Can everyone call him Conor Coote, please? Because he's just Conor Coote.
Go and give me go into Conroy Webb or something. Just not David Coote. Just give me that. Conor
Coote's the only one who would have asked the referee to go and check it, because everyone else just allows that goal. There's nothing wrong.
It was enough. It was your best pal. It was John Brooks who was on VAR. It was your best pal. So,
they tried to deny us. They injured our players. They are back chatting to 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds. Their captain, Ben Chilwell, was trying to get Bradley sent off and trying to instigate a reaction from Bradley. And then later on, he has an altercation with guys. I don't know who. Did you see it? I think he has an altercation with another kid. I can't remember who
Bobby
it was.
Clark. No, I think it was Bobby Clark. I think he said something to him about a throw-in, and he said, explicitive, is that the right phrase? He swore at him or something like that. But just a bit unnecessary for someone who's like a well-established footballer. It just is a bit
embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Yeah, it was.
Tsimikas, literally about 2 minutes earlier, I said, if Tsimikas gives away a casual little pass like he does, he does that pass where he doesn't need to be so casual about, where he passes it inside, and sometimes he overhits it, underhits it, or sometimes he even just hits it with curl and makes it awkward for the centre-back to control the midfielder. I said, if he does one of those and they score on transition, because that's the only threat they had, they were still trying to play on transition when we had 7 kids on the pitch. I said, if Tsimikas does that, I'm going to lose my shit with him. We've spoken about Simicas's delivery and set pieces earlier in the season. Do you remember, guys, when he had a patch in the team before he got injured, where we were saying his set pieces are on point? We get a corner in the what minute?
27, 28.
Yeah. 27 minutes.
Can I just
it's Virgil van Dijk time, baby! It's you can't, Conroy. No, you can't just know. It's Virgil van Dijk time, Conroy.
I was just going to say Tsimikas, right? I thought he was when it was Robbo, Trent, and Tsimikas, I always thought his corners were always like the most on the money consistently, and I feel like he always had that. So just before we go mental with Van Dijk, I just wanted to give him his flowers. The Greek Scouser, he always has that corner in his locker, and I just thought I felt something today. Sorry, Grizz, on you go.
Nah, you're right, bro. Keith, Conroy, Cav. This guy, don't let anyone tell you he's not one of the greatest centre-backs the Premier League has ever seen. In every way, shape or form. The comeback story, the performances, the leadership, losing so many of his senior players, losing so many of his senior captains, vice-captains, Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, the list is endless. He's now in charge of a new group of players, new transfers, kids coming into the squad, leading them out to Wembley, looking around and thinking, I have to be him. I have to be him. It's my duty, it's my honor, it's my responsibility. Not only do I have to be him, I shall score the winning goal. Not once, but I will score it again. And then I will score it at a time where it will be a dagger to the opposition and they won't have a time to recover. And therefore, the kids will get us through the last few minutes. Virgil van Dijk is him.
Go through, Keith. Go through.
Brother, listen, we're talking about mountains. Do you know what I mean? When we're talking about peaks, when we're talking about greatness, you know, this is greatness. Everything is greatness. We have countless podcasts have made a name for themselves, driving traffic to their websites by having these debates where some random person will go, Virgil van Dijk ain't all that. Virgil van Dijk can't.
He's past it, mate. He's past it. He's past it. He's
Van
done.
Dijk is past it. He's not ready. You know what I mean? He's not as good as he used to be after the injury. You know, there's a lot of opinions, but the only opinion that matters is the fact that when the chips were down, when we needed our captain to step up to the plate, not only does he step up to the plate and score a goal, he ends yet another final with a clean sheet.
And man of the match, by the way.
And man of the match.
Twice now I've seen that photo of Virgil holding the Carabao Cup and the man of the match award just standing facing the crowd. Twice. Yeah. He
Champions
is him.
League finals, FA Cup finals, League Cup finals. Clean sheets.
First final as a captain. First final as a captain as well. You know, it's just
and you know what they also say, by the way? They say, oh, he's a bit casual. Listen, today his hair was out of place.
That should tell you.
That was just the celebration.
That was just the celebration.
That was everyone jumping on him. That's all that was.
Yeah,
I swear to God, this guy
out.
I swear to God, right? This guy come out and did a post-match interview on the pitch, right? My missus turns to me, she says, I might have said to her, I don't know, I'm going confused. I said, this guy just looks like he's just walked out, like got ready, got a shower, and come out, left the house. He looks like he hasn't just run around for 120 minutes. Like, not a bead of sweat on the guy. Like, the hair's put back in place. Like, incredible. I don't care. He's the greatest defender of all time. And I'm not willing to have the conversation. I'm not willing to debate. I'm not willing to listen to any other names. He is the greatest of all time. And today he showcased that he's one of the best captains of all time. Like, you talk about all them players that were out, right? And he knew he had to step up today, and he won every header, every duel, played the high line, expressive passing, calm, controlled everything, scored 2 winning goals, 1 was disallowed. Like, he did everything frankly possible as a captain and as a leader today on that pitch. And he has done before. He is the greatest defender of all time, and I don't care what anybody says.
These are the scenes that ensued.
Yeah,
I mean, what is going on here, lads? I've only seen this now, obviously. We couldn't see from where
the doctor's having a panic attack right now.
Bro, Darwin Núñez, what was he doing?
Look at them. They're all on crutches and what they called protective boots. And
yeah, like moon boots and stuff like that, yeah.
What's going on?
It's like Alonso. Remember Alonso, Real Madrid? Was it La Decima when he's injured? He has the Italian suit on, black, and he runs down the touchline. Crazy.
This is insane.
The way Núñez leaps over the barrier, you know, bro. That
he was ready to risk it all. He was ready to risk it all right there.
Honest to God, if he'd have slipped on that.
Yeah. Because he uses no hands. He just
guy, man. Look at him and Szoboszlai going, man. They're meant to be injured. They're flying past people.
Apparently, there's a quote, Virgil. Apparently, there's a quote from Klopp says, Dominic and Núñez were injured and so couldn't play. But I've just seen some clips of them, and I need to have words with them. Or with the medical
There's a reason Mo Salah is the way he is, his longevity, right? Because Mo Salah's clapping. He ain't jumping no fence there because he knows what he has to do. But yeah.
Guys, it was bedlam. We knew we're hanging on. We knew we're not going to let this slip now. Did you guys have any anxiety at that stage?
No.
Was it because I thought that's it. Like, there was 4 or 5 minutes to go, and I thought they're going to just start humping long balls in there.
But then you've got Virgil, haven't you, who's one of the best in the air ever for duels. So you just feel confident that, like you done, he just batters everything away. And then you could tell Chelsea had just gone. For someone who gets very nervous during finals, I just felt like seeing less we have an absolute howler, or someone scores a screamer from 35 yards, which I couldn't see happening. It was that type of game, Grizz. The one, say, 2 minutes, 2 bits of actual quality from Van Dijk actually was clinical, because a lot of both teams weren't, let's say, clinical in those moments. So I felt quite confident. I can just say on the header as well, what a moment, but what a header. Like, the first one is a great header, right? But we've talked about the way he heads the ball and the way he can hit it with so much power. You feel like, okay, that's a bit more, not bread and butter. That one, he's got 2 defenders at that side, so he's got to get his head in front of it. I think he just gets it past Disasi, just in front of him as well, to the bottom corner. Just like you talk about, we used to mention Gerrard moments, captain's moments in final. I'm the guy, I'm going to get us out of it, I'm going to win the trophy for us, right? And I have to say, like, Gerrard's my favourite player, but today that was a massive comparison for me, as Virgil stood up when we needed it, and especially with the kids as well. And you can't take that moment away from them, as well. So say, let's say you're McConnell, you're Clark, you're on the bench when we win. You never get on the pitch, but it's a great moment. It's great. You were on the pitch when the fans in Wembley goes crazy, Anfield South goes crazy. Just a little snippet there, sorry guys. But when that goes crazy, right? They're on the pitch, they're celebrating with their captain. You're never going to take that away from them. Like, that'll be with them forever. And it's like, by the way, I wasn't speaking down on them earlier. I'm just talking about differences of players. But for that moment, for a youngster to have that, I can't even think of a comparison where a group of people would come on the pitch. You have like anomalies and one-offs and stuff like that, like Ryan Bertrand, Champions League final with Chelsea, stuff like that. But you'll never have a group of people. I mean, they must go home tonight and think, a couple of months ago, you'd be lucky if I was even in the squad for a cup final or a big game, and if I've came on for 30 minutes against £1 billion, club, it's like squad. It's just the stuff of dreams. And genuinely, I feel like it is one of those moments I think we'll look back and be like, when that header hits the net, the euphoria in that ground, it's just, it's something that I'd said before. I was so desperate for us to win at least one trophy. I hope we win more. And I'm positive, I'm negative, Grizz. I'm trying to be positive. But I just thought today, if we can get that one, who knows what we can do now? Because that confidence is there now. That unity's even increased. Sorry, Grizz, on you go.
No, it's good, man. I want to hear you guys. I want to listen to you guys. I want to chat to you guys about, all good things must come to an end, just like Jurgen Klopp's reign at Liverpool. Very quickly, someone just said about, I brought up the super chat earlier on about Virgil van Dijk and a statue. How far is he away from a statue?
Nah, there's too many others that need statues before him, I would say.
Virgil van Dijk. If he leads us to the league title this season,
it's going to be interesting.
It just depends how many statues you build, though. This is the thing. It's like some clubs build more than others.
Vincent Kompany's got one at bloody City. I mean, I know, we're built different.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because that's fresh, isn't it, Grizz? That's a new, I think, you know what? I think if you talk about, he's been
the significant signing in
common denominator. Common denominator has been Virgil van Dijk winning the league.
If he leads us to the league, guys, I may start a campaign online.
Please do.
You're in agreement, right, Keith? You feel as though he's a league title away from a statue.
I think Virgil van Dijk, in terms of significance, in terms of leadership, stature, in terms of what would you turn a statue into? He is a statue. Do you know what I mean? So I might as well, I look at it. I mean, if you're ever going to put a statue of someone at Anfield, be it the man that's got one of the craziest records at Anfield. I don't think he's ever lost at Anfield, right? Do you know what I mean?
Lost one game in his career at Anfield. One game, not a season. That's his full career. Actually, sorry, Cav, I changed my mind. That's mental. He does deserve a statue. That's just crazy.
Okay, so Khan's on board. We convince Cav over the next few weeks. Let's work on Cav.
All right, look, I'm not against it. I'm not going to stop protesting. I'm just saying, if you start giving it to Virgil, you got to give one Stevie, and you got to get, there's players that have gone before.
Fair play. That's a fair point, Cav.
We're gonna end the show. Actually, 999.
Well, play the 11, bro. And listen, play the 11. Listen, Jurgen Klopp said one thing that's going to stick with me till the end of time. Yeah, when we started getting these injuries, he used to say, we went into a match, I can't remember who it was against, and he was like, was like, no Mo Salah, no Szoboszlai, no Trent. It's like, yeah. Because obviously we won plenty of games with those players, but we've also lost with those players. This week sums up that statement. Why? When we drew 1-1 with Luton, we had Trent playing, Szoboszlai playing, Mohamed Salah playing, the front three, like it was a fully fledged squad. Yeah. All those players were missing. We beat Luton 4-1. Chelsea at the League Cup final today was the first time in the third attempt we beat Chelsea after extra time and didn't go to penalties, right? The other two times, we pretty much had your Thiagos, Diaz, Salah, Trent. They were all playing in those games that went to extra time. Yet the kids on the pitch won the game and didn't go to penalties. So on Wednesday, at this stage, I don't care who plays, because at the end of the day, if they can churn out a result in a League Cup final, what's to suggest they can't churn out a result at home to Southampton?
There you go. I always leave the last, when it needs some motivation and upbeatness, I always leave it to Mr. Cross. Guys, I'm tired. We could, as Dazza says, we could talk about Liverpool, and he loves listening to us talk about Liverpool, and I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support and the love you guys have shown us. Thank you so much for tonight's stream, all of Keith, Cav, and of course Conroy Coot. But thank you for the chat as well. You've helped us get through this. We're gonna need to keep supporting Liverpool, man. We're gonna need to keep supporting these kids, Jürgen and Klopp. The story isn't over yet. Like,
it's just begun. It's just begun.
We've got like at the end they played everything's gonna be all right, and I think they were smart in terms of Klopp may be ending his tenure at Liverpool, but the spirit and the club itself will go on. You know, the Liverbird will carry on, and I think we'll be in good hands, and I think we've got quite the spine. But tonight was all about the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, call it what you want, Cup, the Kelleher Cup. To us, to me, to all of us, it's the Kelleher Cup. Stop. Liverpool have won the Kelleher Cup. And that's about it, really, guys. This has been Redfellas Sunday night. We're knackered. I'm knackered. Let me find the right intro. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, yourfutcard.com. Use Redfellas for 15% discount. You already know there's some prints that you're definitely going to want one. Are you going to get a Bobby Clark one made? Are you going to get a Virgil van Dijk one made? Are you going to get one with Queven Kelleher on it? Because I certainly would. Go over, check them out, yourfutcard.com. Go through all their different brilliant designs, prints, banners, whatever you want made. Type in Redfellas and I'll get you 15% discount because I'm the community man. Take care.